Hello, internet friends, and welcome back to the Dailey Blend show with me, Reed Dailey. If you are new around here, this is the weekly rundown where I feature things that I thought were notable or interesting across the World Wide Web, stuff going on at Dailey Blend, and things that I'm doing or involved with in other projects or kind of aspects of my life. Before I jump into the show, I want to remind you that we are on Apple Podcast and Spotify. You can also check us out on Google Podcast. The show is available on YouTube, and we are on Twitter or X, Instagram, and Threads, and Facebook. But let's be frank, it's all about that IG. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's jump into the week of October 2nd, 2022, episode number 108 of the show. Can't believe we're at 108. So I wanted to talk about what's going on across Dailey Blend. So, I said this on the last episode. I was on the road for the last couple weeks, so just kind of catching up on things. But I didn't want to leave you hanging with some new music. So I've got kind of two new posts coming out on Dailey Blend. The first is Music Monday, featuring the 20th anniversary of Postal Service. They're not re-releasing, but they're kind of amplifying the fact that their original album or first album came out 20 years ago. And I have the vinyl. It's fantastic. I highly recommend you going and checking it out on daileyblend.com. I've linked to the Spotify stream of their first album. And when I was kind of getting that post ready, I did see that they've got a new live album available. So we're probably going to get that up on the site in the coming weeks. Now, if like electro rock isn't your thing, then go check out DJ Tennis and his Boiler Room set. It's about 50 minutes. It's fantastic. DJ Tennis is just one of the best sort of underground DJs that, has graced the decks, or whatever the term the kids want to use. And then in terms of across the Friday Top 5, you might remember last week we talked about the fact that the Friday Top 5 was moving away from being on daileyblend.com and into a newsletter format. If I'm just being honest, it was Friday. I had teed everything up, but what I thought would work technically didn't work, so we actually published it. So next week will be the first week that the Friday Top 5 is becoming a newsletter. If you head to daileyblend.com, you will see little banner ads on the side and at the bottom to sign up for the newsletter. I highly recommend you signing up. We'll be sending out the Friday Top 5s for sure every week. And then we'll also be sending out more information on some of the sound off guests we have on the podcast. So it's a good way to stay up with the latest tips, tricks, kind of ways to operate and execute your life more efficiently, what's going on kind of in music at large, and some just stuff that I'm interested in and the team's interested in that we want to share. Moving from Dailey Blend to projects I'm involved with, as you all know, Drink with Greg and drinkwithgreg.com is up and fully running. So we've got the new website, we've got the web store, so you can actually purchase spirits from there, and they'll be sent out to your house directly through a third party. Works great. Big fan. And then we've got the Negronis with Greg podcast humming along. We are on episode number 7, which we did the Boulevardier. It's a bourbon riff on the Negroni. It was a fantastic drink. Greg liked it a little bit more than me, but go hit the link at daileyblend.com and you can read the post, see our ratings. You can also listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We've got 2 books featured this week on Drink with Greg. The first is Liquid Intelligence by Dave Arnold. He's just a mastermind of deconstructing things from a scientific lens for cooking and adult beverage making. Highly recommend that book. And then one of my favorite bars in the whole wild world, The Whistler turned 15 this week or past couple days, and they're celebrating with a month of activities, but one of them is a new recipe book. I'm a huge fan of the Whistler, went there before I think he even moved to Chicago. DJ Greg Feelgood, who we featured on the podcast, the website, a good friend of mine, DJ's there once a month. So go check it out. I've definitely highlighted both the Whistler, a little bit of background, and if you are listening to this Whistler team, jump on the Negronis with Greg podcast with us. We want to have you on. All right, that wraps it up for this week's weekly rundown. It's definitely one of the shorter episodes. I promise much more to come in the next week, but like I said, go to daileyblend.com, check out the newsletter, sign up, make sure you're getting those Friday Top 5 gems sent to your inbox. I highly recommend it. It's going to be some heat, some exclusive content, insights, and links to different projects and products that we're launching. And enjoy your week. If you are in the Chicagoland area, I will be at Navy Pier most of the week. Other than that, I'm off the road this week, just kind of bumping around the city for some meetings. And check me out on Instagram and X at Reed Dailey. That's ReedDailey. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to the show. Check us out on podcast and Apple Podcast. And enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for tuning in.